Hello everyone. Today's topic is delta deposition and variables involved in delta deposition along with high constructive and high destructive deltas. Now previously we have seen what are high constructive and high destructive deltas. So my focus will be more on variables today. Now these variables are important to study because these variables involved in delta deposition control the sedimentation, accumulation and deposition of sediments in a sedimentary basin in the form of delta, which ultimately decides or controls the formation of different types of structural and stratigraphic traps, which are important from the point of view of accumulation of oil and gas. So therefore we are going to see them in detail. Now these are the variables listed here in delta deposition. The first one is rate of sedimentation and size of sediment deposited. So when you see higher rate of sedimentation and coarser sediments, it could result into a river dominated delta, and vice versa. If the rate of sedimentation is low and size of the sediment grains is less, you might see a marine dominated delta. The second variable is the difference in the density of the fluvial water and the standing body of water. So this second point we will see in detail again. Third is the action of wave, tides and currents that we have already seen. What happens when any of these energies are dominant. Next is depth of water body. So if the depth of water body is more, the space for sediment accumulation is more. In that case, the sediments may get subsided or sink below and the marine influence could be more. As against that, if the water body is shallow, the river will deposit its sediments at the mouth and it may give rise to formation of a river dominated delta. Then there is a nature of substrate, that is the basement of the basin. If it is subsiding or when it is uplifting due to tectonic activity. So based on these possibilities you get to see different types of deltas. Now coming back to this second point, as I told you, what happens when there is a mixing of fluids of two different densities. So there are three possibilities. If the river water is having same density as that of the standing body of water. Now this kind of situation mostly happens in case of deltas which are formed in lakes, where the fresh water carried by the river enters the fresh water in the lake. So density of the water is same, and therefore these kinds of flows are called as homopycnal flows. Homo means same, having same density. So homopycnal flows are mostly seen in lacustrine environments, and these are also called as inertia dominated deltas or Gilbert type of delta. So Gilbert type of delta is the one where you get to see an ideal delta structure, the bottom set, many foreset and top set, and foreset dip at high angle. So that is the situation which you can see here. So here you can see there will be thorough mixing or three-dimensional mixing of the sediments carried by the river. So when you have homopycnal flow, it is mostly seen in case of lacustrine environments or lacustrine deltas, which are also called as inertia deltas, which gives rise to formation of Gilbert type of delta, where you get to see the foreset laminate dipping at high angle, as you can see here. This diagram you have seen previously, and also you can see a sketch here. Now the second situation is, you can see here carefully how is the density difference. Now here the density of water carried by the river is more than the density of standing body of water. Now this is in case of Ganga river, which flows through the mountains and it carries the sediments, that is silt, sand, clay along with it, and therefore the density of the water carried by the river is higher, and due to this As soon as this water enters the standing body of water, this water flows below along the surface. So you can see the underflow of water below the sea water or oceanic water due to the high density. So these kind of flows are called as hyperpycnal flows, where density of the river water is more. These are also seen in glaciolacustrine environments, where the water melting from the glacials, which is colder. Again, in case of Ganga river, it is colder compared to the oceanic water, and cold water has higher density. So there is lot of friction when there is mixing of water having different densities. Lot of friction takes place, and therefore these are also called as frictional dominated deltas. The next one, here you can see again what is the density difference. So here the density of water carried by the river is less than that of the density of standing body of water, and therefore it is called as homopycnal flow. Now in this case, the water carried by the river, it floats on the surface of oceanic water or sea water, and therefore these are also called as buoyancy delta or buoyancy dominated deltas. So this is the case of all marine deltas that we see, including the Mississippi Delta, where the river water enters into the oceanic water. The river water being fresh, it is less dense compared to the saline water of the ocean, and therefore this fresh water floats on the surface of oceanic water, and it spreads out at a greater length, and then it settles down. You can see here it is shown in the diagram in the cross section below, the settling of fine sediments. Therefore you get to see a high constructive river dominated or bird foot delta here when the flow is hypopycnal. Now to revise this again, you can compare these three different flows. The top one is homopycnal, where you get to see lacustrine deltas or inertia dominated delta or Gilbert type of delta with high angle cross bedding in the delta front sand. The second is hyperpycnal flow, where glaciolacustrine deltas are formed, which are frictional dominated, where river water flows below the oceanic water in the form of turbidity currents. So these are the deltas where you get to see turbidites or Bauma sequence that we have seen in the previous video. So when the flow is underflow along the slope, turbidity currents are generated, and the deposits are called turbidity flow deposits or turbidites. And the third one is hypopycnal flow, which is also called as buoyancy dominated delta. Now here you can see the first point that we have seen under the variables involved in delta deposition, that is rate of sedimentation, how it affects the delta morphology. So this arrow here indicates the ratio of sediment supply to energy. So when the sediment supply is more and energy of the ocean or marine conditions is less, a bird foot delta is formed. As this rate of sedimentation goes on decreasing from top to bottom, you can see the different geomorphologies of delta: lobate delta, cuspate delta, arcuate delta, zero, and estuary. Now what is an estuary? That is altogether different topic that we will see later. So this is how the sedimentation rate affects the geomorphology or type of delta. So this is all about the variables involved in the delta deposition. The next thing is the high constructive delta that we have already seen previously. So these are principally made up of fluvially influenced facies, that is the facies which are deposited by the river. So these facies, the fluvially influenced facies, are very well preserved and maintained in case of high constructive deltas, rather than the facies which are deposited or formed by the marine action. So most of the time in these kinds of deltas you get to see the progradation of delta distributary channels towards the oceanward side with large sediment load deposition. So carrying capacity of the river is high, the sediment deposition is very high in these kinds of deltas, and the ratio of bed load to suspended load is low. The ratio of bed load to suspended load is low means more amount of sediments are in suspension than in bed load. And also you have to remember that these kind of deltas are formed in shallow water areas, in restricted basins like bays or gulfs, like in case of Mississippi Delta. So these high constructive deltas are divided into two groups: high constructive low bed delta and high constructive elongate delta. So again we are going to see these two different types of deltas in detail later on. Next is high destructive delta as against high constructive deltas. In these deltas the fluvial faces are not very well preserved. These are marine influenced deltas, therefore you get to see marine influenced faces, for example tidal flats, barrier bars, lagoons. These faces are very well preserved compared to the faces associated with the river or fluvial system. And another thing is that the sediment input or the deposition of sediments is less as compared to high constructive deltas, and the sediments, whichever the sediments are deposited, they get redistributed or reworked by the marine processes like tides or waves. So these are again of two types: wave dominated or tide dominated. So when you have a wave dominated delta, you get to see barrier bars flanking the mouth bar of the river or delta distributary channel. And the examples of wave dominated deltas you can see here, and try to find out more about these deltas which I have listed here, and you can see their diagrams or satellite images. Same thing you can see here, barrier bar formed due to the action of wave. As I told you previously, this is parallel to the coastline, so it becomes a part of strike system also. Same thing again, the barrier bar or mouth bar here, and the coastal sand deposited parallel to the coast in the form of barrier bar. So tide dominated delta, you get to see formation of tidal flats as a result of reworking of sediments by the tidal currents, and the sand units here are radiating sand units perpendicular to the coastline, like in case of Ganga Brahmaputra delta. And on these tidal flats or in this environment, a lot of vegetation is seen in the form of mangrove forest and in the swamps or tidal flats. See here, these sand bodies are deposited perpendicular to the coastline in the form of bars similar to the braided rivers. So see the legend here. This portion here is delta plain, this is delta flat, all these are delta flats, and these are tidal sands in digitate form perpendicular to the coastline. Same thing again here. So this is all about the variables involved in delta deposition and high constructive and high destructive deltas. Next time we will see fan deltas and other remaining topics.